You've seen a waterfall, but have you ever seen a firefall? Today we check out one of nature's most absurd wonders. For a few select weeks each year at Yosemite National Park, the Horsetail Fall turns bright gold, yellow and orange, creating the illusion of a glowing, fiery waterfall. The firefall entirely depends on the weather and the fall of water. So start making plans. This phenomenon happens in February. This is Kaleidoscope. Welcome, and dare we say we are positive, daring, different. On the show today, the outgoing UNFPA Sri Lanka chief talks impact, women and expectations of work, and reveling with an encore. Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Follow us, like us for more. To our wonderful partners on the show, SriLanka Live, CDB and The Daily Morning, thank you.
She wins with CDB Wings, exclusive financial solutions for women.
It's time for CDB Snapshot, where we take a look back at the week that was. The World Bank says Sri Lanka's recovery is remarkable and sharper than 123 countries since 1980. Sri Lanka's worker remittances hit a record $680.8 million in August, the highest this year. Total private sector borrowings in Sri Lanka increases by 201.5 billion rupees in July. 43 countries expressed solidarity with Sri Lanka at the United Nations Human Rights Council Interactive Dialogue. Scientists discover the first ever super habitat for sharks in Whakarawa, French Polynesia. Carlos Acutis is canonized as the first millennial saint. He is the patron saint of the internet and God's influencer.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. SriLanka Life.
Welcome to SriLanka Life News Capsule. The country head of UNFPA Sri Lanka bade farewell 2 weeks ago. As Kunle Adeniyi departs, his team's impact is clear. 3.8 million Sri Lankans received family planning support. 1,000 midwives trained, 2 solar-powered maternity clinics launched, and survival services strengthened via one-stop and emergency waiting areas. I caught up with him for Kaleidoscope News Capsule a few days prior to his departure and asked him what his single most achievement has been during his tenure.
I arrived in this country January 2022, and a couple of months later, things began to go a little bit south. And we were called by government and the people to respond to the needs of our major constituency, women of Sri Lanka. I would say our major achievement at UNFPA was to be able to support government. We raised funds and we supported with life-saving medicines that were critically, as you know, were in critical shortage at that time. But not only that, they say never waste a good crisis. I think that also created an opportunity to do some positive things, strengthening maternal health outcomes in Sri Lanka, but also doing critical investment in prevention and response to gender-based violence. And I think that time, from mid-2022 to this moment, has defined our work and our value to this country.
So like you mentioned, from mental health to gender-based violence initiatives, what has been the most tangible impact that any of those projects have had at grassroots level?
When I go to the peripheries and I see women who have been victims of violence and the safety that they've been able to receive and the care and support that they get is key. Again, it's difficult to speak about one thing, but I would say the thread will be safety, protection and wellness for women and girls. Because, for example, maternal health outcomes in Sri Lanka have been strengthened and the care of women is key. over 600,000 people access drugs and medicines that we were able to bring into this country at that time, and I think it's a big achievement for us. Now when I go to police stations and I see police stations having women's centers where women can come and feel unjudged and just be able to come with their kids, and I see the police and women interacting so well. That was a novel idea that we introduced to the country, and it's been scaled to 14 police stations now. And the police itself has said they're going to scale it to almost all the police stations in every district, and that is using a crisis to build a sustainable model for the country.
Mobile clinics, emergency obstetrics care, cash vouchers that you give. What challenges proved hardest to solve and why?
The mobile clinics were was also very telling because Sri Lanka has really achieved a lot in providing general access to wellness. But oftentimes there are people left behind. The mobile clinics went to the most difficult places and put together mental health and social support, obstetric care for women, and were able to reach them. What are the problems that I see around this? It will be, crises also show weaknesses in systems, logistics, to move medicines and drugs. Sometimes around imports and clearance of medicine resulted, unfortunately, in delays, to provide access and challenges, but also introducing new things and ways of doing things to a system that has been here for over 200 years can be a challenge. But we've seen more progress than challenge when I look at it, and so I would say the challenge will be around logistics, movement of drugs and medicines, access. However, I would say the positive far exceeds the challenges, and that's so glad.
As you make your way out, what's your lasting message to the Sri Lankan people?
I saw a beautiful country, open, ambitious country, but a country where everybody loves Sri Lanka. And I think that is the fundamental strength that this country has. And that's why I think the resilience of the Sri Lankan person comes from. The soul is that people have gone through a lot, but the country remains resilient and there is ambition. Everybody wants to make Sri Lanka the best place. And I think that is the message of hope that carries on.
And now, a peek at our markets this week. At the Colombo Stock Exchange, the All Share Price Index continues to move upwards towards 20,800 points on increased retail and foreign buying sentiment. Oil prices were steady between $63 and $65 per barrel as the long-term outlook of oversupply due to OPEC Plus increased production and limited price increases. Gold continued its climb to new record highs above $3,650 per ounce on expectations of an imminent September US interest rate cut. We're going back to the red carpet this week with the flashiest and most gorgeous outfits worn at the MTV Video Music Awards. The glass ceiling isn't the only thing that needs breaking. In a world where women are still taught to compete rather than connect, Regional Head South Asia Customer Engagement at ADA, Sanjeev Monavira champions data-driven innovation, controversial AI and authentic leadership, believing that it's time to rewrite the rules. You describe leadership as being gender neutral, but also there are challenges that we normally face. How do you personally navigate that tension?
Yeah, I think leadership is nothing to do with gender. It's really about the impact that you create. But having said that, I think as women we do have a lot of prejudices, and we are sometimes the level field is not really there for it. It's not equal, right? So I think we come to an office, for example, with all these additional pressures. We are mother, we are daughter, we are partner, whatever it is. So I think it's all about finding that balance. And for me personally, it's always been about prioritizing. When I prioritize what I really want to do, there are days that I really want to be fully ingrained in work. I do that. There are days that I really want to spend a lot of time with my son, and I do that. And there's a period in my time of day which is solely for my wellness, right? So I think you need to do that, because if you don't have that balance and you don't really look after your mental state, you bring all of that also there. So I think it's all about making sure that you are balanced as an individual, because then only can you really create that kind of impact.
So, over 3 decades, you built a whole network on empathy and trust. How has that shaped your leadership approach?
In my younger days, I was that ambitious, raring to go, it's all about me kind of person. But with the things that have happened in life, I am a lot more self-aware. A lot of times, even though I'm hit with pressure, I always take 2 steps back and I think about, what am I doing here? How am I going to respond to this, and what really am I expecting as an outcome?
You said that balance is unique to each woman. If that is the case, how do you see work-life balance in a practical sense?
I think it's work-life blending today. You've got a phone next to you. The first thing I do when I wake up with one eye is check out my email or my TikTok or my something. So I think it's about prioritizing what's really important to you. Like I said, if there are days that you really need to focus and do your job, you have to do that. And even if the whole world is falling outside around you, you still have to show up, right? And if you don't show up, you're not doing justice to the place that you're working, to the teams that you're leading, and even to yourself. Time spent with my son, it's non-negotiable. There are days that I want to spend time with him, and I will do that. And I have my timeouts also, where I go on a trip, I read a book, I write a lot of articles now, I do write poetry. I like to learn new things, so even in this whole concept of AI, I'm learning it. So all of it is about what you prioritize.
All women don't have that good fortune. How would they manage that?
We have to be bold enough as ladies to set our expectation. I know that it's easier for us who are a bit stronger, but I think everything, once you lay down your expectation, either you are going to be in the situation or you're going to rise above it. But I think you need to be able to strong enough to take that stance, and you have to be able to say no. We actually sell ourselves short. We don't really own our space sometimes. We fight to want to be at a table, we want to break these ceilings and all that. But when we get there, if we are fighting for equality, we should also be fighting to be fair as females. Because I think the era of us being in that whole victim kind of mindset, it's all gone now.
A few weeks ago, the Revelations Mixed Voice Choir, directed by Sanjeev Jayaratnam, performed a full range of 80s and 90s music to a well-deserved encore. On Kaleidoscope today is the finale of the show, which was nothing short of magical. Well, we'll be back next week with lots more to divulge, discuss and discern.